I'm Agnes and I make videos for fun. I have been working on a frilly wrap dress by Fiber Mood. I have cut the pattern pieces and I have a few changes to make. One of them is to lengthen the skirt, and this brings its own challenges because of the frill at the bottom. I have a plan of action, but I should preface this by saying that this plan only works because I am cutting out the lower size, so I am relying on having up to size, this goes quite big, and I'm relying on that fact in order to make this work. So I got a skirt that I like the length. This is the back of it. It's one of those that are shorter in the front than they are in the back. So I'm going to use this as a template, not a full template, just as an indication for length. So I have it here. This is the back of my existing skirt. It goes down to my feet almost, like my ankles. So here's the Charlotte, the back of the skirt for the Charlotte dress. I'm really bad at slaughtering French names. Charlotte. So I'm going to put this, taking into account the seam allowance, and it comes down to here. And I want the dress to be this long, almost that long. I think I'll make it a little shorter. Now this is not all of the skirt. There's also the frill that goes at the bottom, so this would go like this, and so that's how long this is going to be. So actually the short Charlotte dress is not that short on me, but I want it to be assertively long, not look like it's a short dress wannabe, as skirts often look on me. So if I add the frill, it comes down to here, and so I would like it to go down here. So let me measure how much length I need to add to the skirt. 18 centimeters will be good. So I've got my drafting paper. It's shipping paper from Walmart. It was the most readily inexpensive option for drafting paper. And I've laid out my the back of the skirt on there, following that strategy I have here. And here I am checking that this part of the skirt is not curving. It just keeps on going. Over here it curves. So this top part I'm not touching because it's going to go at my waist, and that has to fit. But I want to lengthen it, so I'm going to continue this straight line here. Alright, so I've traced around it, around the skirt piece, and I've transferred two markings that I noticed were on there. One is here. There's a dashed line, I think, that I'm going to use to line up the bodice to the skirt, and a mystery little square here. We'll see what we do with that. And then the right of grain, and this little round here that says that this is supposed to be on the fold. And the skirt stops here, and I need to add 18 centimeters to that. So now I'm extending it. So it's going to come down to here now. But now the bottom of my skirt is wider. This is where the bigger size is going to come in handy. So I've gone through my recycling bin, and I've recovered the pieces that I cut out. And I'm going to jigsaw this back together and cut probably the largest size I have for the bottom of the skirt, and then put it here. Alright, so at the bottom of the skirt I have re-added in, taped the bigger sizes. Over here I don't care what happens, it's my size. So what I'm going to do now is slide the skirt down to the new length, following the center fold, and see which skirt width this is, and then I'll have to make a note of the size. So we are right in between. So this will be where I shorten the skirt slightly, I think, or lengthen a little bit, and then I land right on this line here. And now I need to find which size this corresponds to. This is the seam allowance, and it's 3/8 of an inch, or in civilized country, a centimeter from its corresponding size, which is this one. It's the long dash. So when I go back to the size reference guide, I look for the long dash, and there's two of them. There's a 54 and a 44. Like I said, I have trouble distinguishing among the dashes. This is the shorter long dash. There's a long dash over here closer to the edge. That is the size 54. So the one I'm looking at is size 44. Write it down, or I guess I would put a little arrow here. 44 is the size that I'm going to be using for the bottom of the skirt, and so that's also the size that I will have to cut when it comes to the frills that go at the bottom of the skirt. So for now, I'm going to cut along this seam allowance line and trace. And there is my new back of the skirt panel. Alright, so now I need to work on the frill, the ruffle, the flounce as they call it in Great Britain, that goes on the bottom of the skirt. And it's this piece. So here's where noting the size was useful, because this is a size 2 to correspond to the hemline of a size 2, but now my hemline has become a size 44, and so I must cut the size 44 out of this piece. I've jigsawed my flounce back together, and now I must find and cut the size 44. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and cut this on doubled up pattern paper. If I could, I would cut it on the fold, but my pattern paper is not quite big enough. But I'm going to make two pieces mirror images of each other, and then reconstitute the whole thing so that I can put that as one piece on my chiffon. So there it is, my back frill of flounce. I've transferred the notch markings and the direction. That's it for the back of the skirt. Next time we'll work on the front panel with its associated frill. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like.